All right, fourth graders, so expository text. When we are reading some expository text, we have special features that tell us that it is an expository text. It's important and you need to remember it. So let's take a look at some of these structures. So we have some bold print. So for example, a habitat, if you look at the word habitat, that's a bold word. That means it is an important word, usually a vocabulary word that you need to remember, okay? So bold print, important words. Colored text or highlighted text, they are also important words the author will put there so that your eyes will immediately go there. It's like, oh, look at that word, it's colorful. So they're also really important words. Sometimes the author won't bold them, but they will make sure that they are colored. Okay? Bigger text. Sometimes the author changes the size or the shape of the text. So it'll make it big, it'll make it small, it'll put it in italics. Italics is where the letters are tipped. Sometimes they use a big fat font, sometimes they use a really skinny font. So text, when you see a story with a lot of different sized text, it's usually expository text or informational text. Let's take a look at some more things here. Bullet points. So they have an expository. They use bullets, just like in here. They highlight key points. They're important lists of things that you need to know. For example, dogs have 4 legs, a tail, ears, fur, lists. Bullet points are important lists that they make that are facts. We also have indexes. Indexes tell you where, if you have a vocabulary word, where are you going to find the information. So if you're looking at amphibians or frogs or toads, you would be like, oh, I can find it on page 2. I can find frog on page 2 and page 5 and 7. So an index helps you locate information quickly and on what page they're located. So if you're looking at an index, it's always at the back of the book. If you are looking also at expository text, you are looking specifically at, I'm moving myself around, tables and charts and graphs. We went over line plots, you've looked at bar graphs, you've looked at all sorts of charts. Charts and graphs, very important. They try to teach you something. They give you information about what's very important about the information you're learning about. So when you have a table or a graph in a text, it's usually informational. So you'll see those in there. We also have some more table. This is like a pie chart, so it's really easy to understand the information. We also have maps. A lot of maps show up in expository text. Okay? And they place that there so you know where in the world are you? Where in the world are we talking about? We have timelines. Timelines tell us when something happened. So if you're talking about somebody's life, then you can say when they were born, when they started to walk, when they went to school, when they died. Timelines, very important when you're talking about information and you want to talk about somebody's life or the life of like when did video gaming start. You want to talk about when was the first video game produced, when was the first game console, when. It always talks about time. So timelines are very important when you're trying to teach somebody something from beginning to end. And we have, there's another index, a table of contents. Let's get table of contents. You find this at the beginning of the informational text. When we go into informational, you will have to create a table of contents about your topic. So if you're looking at it, it tells you what topics you're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about frogs, or I'm going to talk about reptiles, and then first I'm going to talk about frogs in general. Well, maybe this one's about frogs. So I'm going to talk about frogs overall. Then I'm going to teach you about frogs' diet, frogs' habitat, and physical traits. And then maybe some other information. So you have your big topic, and then you have your subtopics underneath. So that's really important when you're trying to teach somebody something about a topic. Glossaries are definitions of words. So if you have a glossary, it's going to be at the back of the book almost always, or sometimes it's at the end of a chapter. And they tell you some of the special words, for example, some of the bolded words, some of the colored words, some of the words that are hard for you to understand or maybe you don't know. Look them up in the glossary. They'll tell you the definition. Amphibian, it's an organism that can live on land and water. Okay, we have diagrams and drawings, all sorts of diagrams and drawings. Kids love informational text because they have all sorts of pictures, Venn diagrams, pictures and drawings that show relationship or how things are put together. So they're just pictures. Could hand-drawn pictures. They're usually sometimes done in color, but they're not lifelike looking, usually. Okay. Also, you have pictures and illustrations. Illustrations are like drawings, but they're colored in. Pictures look like real life. If somebody just took a camera and took a picture, that would be what you could find. So you have pictures, illustrations. Pictures and illustrations can look real. They don't have to look real, but for the most part they do. Often pictures and illustrations have captions that talk about what's inside that picture. So they have a caption inside of them, like this flowers like these daisies can be found in throughout the United States. That's a caption. It's talking about what's going on in that picture. So if you have any questions, we will be going over some of the text features some more. And if you have questions or concerns, please let me know.